Good morning, everyone. It is another beautiful day here. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be taking Rick back to the doctor. Yes, I think that they might be changing his cast, but hopefully it's all good news, and yeah, I'll let you know how that goes. But I do hope that you will want to stick around for a little bit of my day, and I do want to ask you a favor. I want to ask you to please make sure you're subscribed and to please give this a thumbs up if you like it. And if you click that little bell, you'll get notifications every time I put up a new video. And I put up a new video Monday through Friday. Anyways, I'll talk to all of you in just a little while. Hello again, everyone. We're going to be leaving very quickly here to take him to the doctor, but I wanted to tell you about something that has really helped us. And where we live, cable is not available. And to be honest with you, I probably, even if it was available, I wouldn't end up having it because of the cost. And years ago, we had decided to get rid of our satellite and just to put up an aerial and go with what's over the air. But then our daughter introduced us to Roku. And so with Roku, you are able to just get a lot of things free. But also, I mean, if you just buy 2 or 3 subscriptions, that's like $18 a month for, Netflix and Amazon. So it really isn't a whole lot of money compared to cable or satellite. And so we went out and we had bought what was called the Roku 2. And this was probably back in 2012 maybe. And this has worked very well for us. But over the last year or so, we've noticed that our internet speed really has gotten slower and slower and slower. And unfortunately, for the same reason, we have to have DSL, and so we only can have so much speed. There's only so much speed available where we live. We're just thankful we have that, because when we first moved here, we only had dial-up, and that was only 12 years ago. So yeah, you know how that would have been. But my husband went online and he was doing some researching, and he saw that the newer Rokus are supposed to be able to process things better. So we had a good amount of money on our Amazon Prime that we had gotten, points, bonus points. So he went ahead and he ordered the Roku 4. And I went ahead and I set this up last night because it came yesterday. And for the very first time, he was able to stream a show on Netflix, and I was online on YouTube answering comments and listening to other people's videos and getting into my mail. And everything streamed just fine. There was no continual buffering, because that's usually what happens. You get that little circle that just goes around and around and around. So anyways, don't know if any of you are having difficulty with your speed of your internet and you are using a Roku and you're having the same problems that we were facing. Well, like I said, we've only used it once watching a movie, because I just hooked it up last night, but it really did seem to make a difference. It is a little pricey. My husband ended up spending less than $40 and that was free shipping through Amazon. But I think he said it was about $120, but we had bonus money coming to us. So yeah, it cost us under $40. Anyways, talk to y'all in just a little while. Hello again, everyone. I am back from taking my husband to the doctor, and he got a really good report. He said the bone is healing nicely. He said, but because it's a very large bone, he says, it takes a while for it to really knit together and be strong. So he said in 3 more weeks, he wants him to come back, and he believes that he will be able to put him into a cast that he will be able to bend his knee. So yeah, that'll be good news. And he also said that he'll be able to put some support on that leg, not to walk, but just some support every once in a while. But anyways, on the way home, my husband says to me, he says, "Oh, I just wanted to tell you that there's a package waiting for you at our back door." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Well, I ordered you something as a thank you. Thank you for all that you have done for me these last few weeks." So when we got in and I opened up the package, what he had ordered me was some stoneware pans. I mean, these are real stoneware. He ordered me this size, which I think maybe is a 12 inch. It's pretty big, huh? And then this size here, which I believe is probably more like a 10 inch. But they are real stoneware. This whole thing is stoneware. I was just so excited. I thought, this is wonderful. But on the back, it says Michelangelo Tradition, 1931. So these pans have been manufactured since 1931. I'm thinking, wow, okay, I don't know. But anyways, I'll let you know how they work out. I'm excited to be able to try them. Because you know me, I don't like chemicals. I don't use pans that are Teflon or anything like that because of the chemicals. So anyways, right now, 2 of my husband's very close associates are coming and they're bringing pizza and wings. So yeah, they're going to spend a little bit of time with Rick and he'll be able to have some company and that'll be good. So anyways, I hope that everybody's having a wonderful day and I will talk to all of you in just a little while. For today's devotion, we will be reading Romans chapter 1, verses 16 and 17. "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. For in it the righteousness of God is revealed from faith for faith, as it is written, the righteous shall live by faith." You know, I learned something new as I was studying for this devotion, and that is that these 2 verses are transitions, and that the Greek begins with because, connecting verses 13 to 15, and the idea then is that I am eager to preach the gospel to you who are in Rome because I am not ashamed of the gospel. And the Apostle Paul lived in a world very much like our own. They had different philosophies, many religious beliefs, and it permeated the Roman world. And the preaching of the cross can be quite contrary. But Paul was not ashamed of the cross of Christ, for he knew the power of God could save anyone who would believe. And we need to carry that kind of enthusiasm and confident boldness into our world. You know, I used to wonder, what does this mean that the gospel is to the Jew first? And to help bring clarification, remember, Paul would later say in Romans 2, verse 11, that God does not respect one person over another. For God shows no partiality. He shows no favoritism. So we can conclude that it's not first in importance. Throughout Scripture, we can see that it is God's order. Even Jesus' ministry went to the Jew first, even though we know that as a nation, they would reject him. It was always God's desire that all would receive salvation, and he knows the best order to make that possible. Now, getting back to our scripture verses for today, Paul begins by making an amazing statement. He says, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. Now, think about this, bearing in mind Paul's past. He had been imprisoned in Philippi. He had been chased out of Thessalonica. He had been smuggled out of Berea. He had been ignored in Athens. He was laughed at in Corinth. He was stoned and left for dead in Lystra. And now Paul, with a record like that, comes to Rome. Rome, the heart of the empire. Rome, the city of philosophers and poets. Rome, home to every conceivable idol. Rome, the seat of emperor worship. Rome, the center of intellectual arrogance. Rome, a city built on war. Rome, which was considered the greatest city of the world in Paul's day. So what made Paul think that he could survive in such a place? The answer to that question is wrapped up in one word: power. The power of God. The gospel is power. The Greek word for power is what we get in the English for the word dynamite or dynamic. The power of God saves sinners, and nothing else will. Not science, not education, not religion, not moral reformation, not fame, and not fortune. Only the gospel of Jesus Christ. And with that, I want to remind you, life happens. Let's enjoy it. And you know, sometimes when we see the word salvation, we think past tense. But here, Paul is thinking of salvation in all three tenses: past, present, and future. The gospel has the power to forgive sins in the past, to impart new life in the present, and to admit us into heaven in our future. No other power on earth can do that. God bless, and I will talk to you on Monday.